What is happening, TwT fans? It is time for another Talking with Topher. This is episode 315. It is April 16th, 2026, and it is, well, we are just in the beginning of the 7th year of this podcast, and as you can see, things are changing. Things will continue to change, and it all just takes a little bit of time. So, excited for all the new things to come in the 7th year of this podcast. Happy to have so many of you still here. And with that being said, I just want to say thank you and let everybody know to subscribe. And of course, if you want to tell your story or be a guest, email is in the description below the video, and send an audio, video, or type it out. Linktree is also in the description below the video, along with all links discussed on this podcast here today. And remember, always do your own research. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the episode's opening clip.
Who didn't get the vaccine? Billionaires knew better, and homeless people knew better. You get fucked in the middle. Who doesn't pay taxes? Billionaires don't pay taxes, homeless people don't pay taxes. You get fucked in the middle. If you're really rich, it's true. It's true, right? If you're at the extremes, you understand things that the people in the middle don't.
And I'll tell you, if that's not a way to open up this show, I don't know what is. But it's also a very true statement. If you're in the middle, you're fucked. And that's just where I'm starting this thing off at. You ready for a roller coaster ride today, everybody? Because we're going right into the second one.
The worst outcomes from the COVID-19 vaccines: turbo cancers, death, miscarriages, blood clots, heart attacks, being paralyzed. Did you know, of all people that died in the whole world, 40% of all of them were diabetic? DNA plasmid technology is to genetically alter bacteria and yeast in the body of the mammal to produce poison, venom, spike protein. What do bacteria and yeast feed off of? Sugar. What do diabetics have a hard time reducing and managing? Sugar. Diabetics had the worst outcome. If you're diabetic, you better be paying attention. If you're worried about future deadly toxic outcomes from the vaccines, you should be doing stool analysis and finding out, do you have E. coli bacteria, which is the preferred bacteria they're targeting? Do you have E. coli, and do you have yeast like Candida in your bowels? If you do, you will get every horrible toxic condition.
I can't disagree with this man at all. Now, let's just take out the vaccinis, right? Take them out of the whole equation because they do feed off of the sugar, right? If you're not already doing so, or you haven't discussed it with your doctor, you should be getting a stool sample. I mean, if you are having any gut issues or any type of digestive issues, the first thing they're going to tell you is to take a stool sample and get it to the lab so that they can find out what's going on inside your stomach. So I've had to do this multiple times. It's really not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I mean, it's really not. You need to get over the simple fact that you're kind of playing with your own shit in a way. You know what I mean? You have to get over that. I don't know, plug up your nose, do something, whatever your gag reflex is, try to get that avoided. That way you can actually get your stool sampled and you can find out what's going on inside your body, because having these things inside your body in the first place is terrible. And second of all, it obviously opens you up for more problems in the future. So I think that this is a very good message because I've done all these things. I've tested my stool multiple times. I've tested my stool within the last year. You should be regularly, talk to your doctor, obviously. But I mean, I've talked to my doctors, and because of my stomach issues, we test probably once every like 2 years or something. So I highly recommend this. I think it's really good exercise for people to get into. It's a good habit to have. And same with blood work, though. They're not going to allow you to get certain blood work done, or insurances don't cover the certain blood work, but you should be getting blood work done. And if you can't, then go to a place that can give you a full panel. Go to somewhere that's going to, you know, the price is reduced, but you have to pay out of pocket. Insurance doesn't cover it. This is the problem that we live in, is that we don't do anything unless the insurance covers it. But have you ever noticed what insurance really covers? I mean, you still get charged for everything. It's crazy. So, I mean, they don't care about preventative health. So therefore, they're not going to cover anything preventative for us. But if we keep screaming at them and yelling at them and telling them that we want to do more preventative stuff, maybe someday in the future, the health system will actually do what it's supposed to and prevent us from getting sick if enough of us keep preventing ourselves from getting sick. Because the way that I want it to go is that I want it to all be individualized. And when that day happens, we will all be in a better, healthier world. I promise you. So let's see here. Oh, man. I got into the radioactive cannabis like 2.5 weeks ago. And this is some more stuff on cannabis, which is pretty amazing about it, because there's a lot of negative coming out right now. My belief behind that is they are starting to lose money because of the legalization of marijuana. They are not capable of collecting this money that they were grabbing from everybody by arresting us, putting us through the court system and everything else. So now they're just going to deem it this terrible, awful thing. And yes, are there going to be complications? Are there going to be addictions? Are there going to be all the things that come with alcohol, cocaine, heroin, and everything else on the planet? Of course, a drug is a drug. People are addicted to fucking sugar to the point where they can't stop eating sugar. So is there an addiction to every single drug? Caffeine, nicotine? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, cannabis is still better than alcohol. It's proven over and over and over again. And I'm sorry, I understand that maybe there's something else with me where I can enjoy marijuana without a problem, but I couldn't enjoy alcohol without any issues. So I was always in trouble with alcohol. But at the end of the day, I still believe this is less toxic, less brutal on the body, doesn't completely poison you every time you take it. But I mean, if the marijuana industry is doing things to the marijuana that we are buying legally, that's a problem too. But there are a ton of benefits, and I think there's more benefits than there are negatives. But did we actually think there was going to be a world with no negatives? I never thought there was going to be no negatives. I just thought that the negatives would never outweigh the positives for marijuana legalization. But let's check this out. Let's see what they have to say.
Cannabis opened the window into the functioning of our body. Completely unexpected window, because what was discovered was that THC binds to receptors in the brain and outside the brain. And when it does so, when it binds to these receptors, the cells now behave differently.
Cannabinoid receptors, named after cannabis, are found on nearly every organ in the body. They bind with our own cannabis-like molecules called endocannabinoids, which regulate functions like sleep, cognition, memory, and mood. Unlike other brain chemicals, they travel backwards across the synapse, where they control the release of most neurotransmitters.
One of the most amazing things that happened was the discovery of the endocannabinoid system. Every mammal has one, and this is a system of chemicals and receptors throughout the brain and body. And really, the primary goal of the endocannabinoid system is homeostasis, keeping things in balance.
As you can see, there is so much more to it, and every single human animal, all have this system inside their body where these cannabinoids connect to, and it creates not a problem between them, but it completes the connection. So that is something that alcohol can never and will never do for anybody. I have never heard of anything more positive about alcohol than if you have like a half a glass of wine a night, that is like okay. Or maybe a glass or whatever it is for a male and a female. But again, those are all things that, you know, I believe the FDA and the government have said, and it's okay if you drink this much and if you do this. I mean, if they're telling us anything is okay, I'm definitely 100,000% skeptical of what they're telling us is okay. Because I just don't believe them. Because I'm sorry, today we cannot just blindly accept what they tell us as truth. I can't accept it anymore. But I also can't accept this because I was having a hard time whether or not I should bring it up. But check this out, everybody. Mammograms smash open the lump, causing the parasites to go wild and actually gives you cancer. There, someone finally said it. Now, this has been going around. It came out by Lost Civilizations _ on Instagram. A WR Shock QBD posted this. And this is something that, you know, really worries me because, I mean, nobody wants breast cancer. But is there an alternative way to test for it today without doing the old style of smashing down on top of it? Or is it the only way that we actually find and locate the cancer today? Because if it's the only way, well, that kind of sucks, right? Because what if that is what's happening, right? So you go in, you feel something, they scan it, and now they've bursted that. So by the time they go in, it's already spread. And then you have to ask the question, and I hate to do this, but is that by design? So that it does spread? So that they can do surgeries and make it so that insurance is needed? I mean, if they could benefit, right, from anything, would they not do it? Don't they already do it today? So this really had me concerned because I'm like, well, it sounds like they're causing the problem again and making it so that we have to use our insurance, right? And they profit and they benefit and they cause the problem. They made the problem worse. So again, I do believe that this is something that maybe was the way that we found it, but I wonder if there's something sinister behind it, right? Because they were like, well, we could do it this way, but if we do it this way, this is going to cause way more issues, and this will make us way more money. So why don't we just tell everybody we need to do it this way? That's what I got from this. And I know that's probably a terrible way to think about things, but I mean, I can't think of anything. I don't think that they're ever doing anything positive for us anymore. So just think about it next time and maybe see if there's a different way to get the scan. I just don't know if there is today. I just don't. All right, so Melania. Oh, man, this is wild, everybody. Check this out. So this was put out by Whiplash347. He's got a check on X. And it was from X, and this is on Instagram, put out by MR805ER2. You can see that Melania is the rightful queen of Russia / Tartaria. Ashkenazi Jacob Schiff, G.father of Adam Schiff, grandfather of Adam Schiff, issued an assassination order for her whole family when her great grandfather was Tsar. Her great grandmother, Anastasia Romanov, was smuggled out to safety. Time to feed the bulldog. What? Dude, what? Melania? Come on, dude. She is the queen of Russia / Tartaria. She's a leftover family member of Tartaria. What does this mean, everybody? So what? She could take over Russia? Turn it back into Tartaria? I mean, this is wild, dude. Wild. I mean, you have the Barron book and the Trump shit, and now you say that Melania is the queen of Russia / Tartaria. Oh, because of her lineage, right? I mean, this is just wild, everybody. What does this mean for all of us, right? I guess that's the thing. Somebody else said they never heard of this before. Who's gone down this and has the details? Right. That's where I'm at, dude. Like, I have never heard of this. I don't even know how this helps us, or if it even is helpful, or is it helpful towards the Agenda 2030? Because Agenda 2030 seems more real than whatever's supposed to happen in 2027. But maybe what happens in 2027 leads us to Agenda 2030. And you know what? I'm starting to believe that maybe whatever happens in this war and our oil and everything else, we might actually make it to 2030. I don't think this is going to get as bad as everybody is telling us it's going to get. I think everybody is just full of anxiety and fear right now because of everything going on and the escalations, and we're playing this weekend warrior shit so that the stock market doesn't completely crash. But I mean, there's only so much Trump's going to be able to do to keep this at a level that it's at and make it seem profitable or even good to any of the 1%, which is the only audience he's playing for, right? He doesn't give a shit about any of us. He obviously doesn't. Everybody completely lied to us, everybody in that administration. But it is pretty incredible to think that there could be some lineage alive today from what we have been told Tartaria was, and possibly could still be. I don't know. I don't know what this would do. I don't know how they would get this going, but it is something I haven't heard of, and I just thought it was very interesting to me. Think about it. Do some digging. Look into it yourself. Leave some comments. But let's dig into this, because now I am seeing stuff like this popping up, and I've got 2 videos for you. And I think this is interesting to listen to because, unfortunately for us, we're stuck in our little bubble right now, and we are very limited to the news that is coming out. I actually had a video on some war stuff and how Democrats were starting to twist things and whatever, and it got taken down, and it will not be allowed to be played in this country anymore, is what Instagram said. I should have left it up, but I deleted it. But what is happening right now with the censorship? Because this is not the first video that has been taken down, and I've gone in to see if I could find it anywhere else, and it just says it cannot be found in your country. That's a problem, everybody. That's a problem I do not appreciate, but this is a problem that I did not think was actually happening. Listen.
Interrupt me when I'm speaking. You are insulting the Iranian people's right to self-determination by claiming that this is some sort of Israeli project. Where were you when 2 months ago, in the beginning of January, the Islamic regime slaughtered over 40,000 innocent, unarmed protesters?
Now, I am just going to say this real quick. I really wish I heard what he said before she started speaking, just to have a little bit more context, but still.
Just because they wanted to live in a free and democratic society. Where were you? Where were you when on Friday, don't interrupt me when I'm speaking. Do not interrupt me when I'm speaking. I let you speak. Do not interrupt me when I'm speaking. Do not interrupt me. Where were you when the Islamic regime gang raped 2 nurses because they were helping Iranian protesters? They took them, they gang raped them. One of them was gang raped so hard that they had to remove her uterus. Where were you for that? Where were you when on Friday the Islamic regime executed 5 innocent young innocent Iranian men? Where were you? Nowhere. So don't bring your Israeli conspiracy theories here. No one's buying it. No one cares for it. This is something that the Iranian people have wanted for a very, very long time. It's called the responsibility to protect. It is a UN doctrine. Do not interrupt me when I'm speaking. You are insulting the Iranian people's right to self-determination by claiming that this is some sort of Israeli project. What Iranian people are saying inside of occupied Iran is that we are grateful for American and US interventionism. And you would know that, except the Islamic regime has shut down the internet for the last 24 days. The internet has been cut off. 90 million Iranians in occupied Iran do not have a voice. And what you, sir, are hearing is Islamic regime propaganda. So I would suggest you take a step back, you open your mind a little bit more, and maybe ask yourself, why did the Islamic regime shut down the internet? Why has the Islamic regime cut off the internet, silencing the voices of 90 million people?
And this is what I'm getting at. We have been censored. We're being censored here by our platforms. We're being censored by Israel owning TikTok. I'm sure nobody's seeing like real stuff anymore. I mean, have you seen all the war videos and the AI enhancements and this and that? And it's all garbage today. I don't know what to even really look at except for the videos that I see on Drop Site News, that I see on Breaking Points, that I see with Tim Dillon. There's certain places that you can go where you can still see some real footage. And, you know, Ryan from Drop Site just got back from Cuba. He had some great footage, some good interactions there, trying to actually get a real feel for what is going on out there because they are censoring us. Now, this is wild to me because the Iranian people want this. So what she's saying is that not the government, right? Not the Iranian government, but the Iranian people do not want the people that are in charge there anymore. And she's actually saying that she's happy that Israel and the U.S. are doing this, trying to get them out of control. I haven't heard of this. Why haven't I heard of this? All I've heard is that they're unhappy, they don't want us there, and they are ready to go to war for 25 plus years, or they've been ready for 25 plus years, and they probably have 25 plus years of arsenal. So this is just an interesting twist to everything I've been seeing on the news, right? Because you can't not see what's coming in on the news. I mean, you get notifications, it's on Channel 9, it's this, that, it's David Muir, you know what I mean? So it's everywhere that everything is, you know, we're doing good, you know, but so to me, to see something like this is very eye-opening. Because this is not the narrative that they're showing us on the regular news. Now, they're also not showing us stuff like this.
I am an Iranian who lives in Tehran, and I can hear the sound of bombing outside. In case I'm dead tomorrow, I just want you to remember this. Please, shut the fuck up and don't use me against America or Israel to try and convince them to stop. We asked for this. We want this attack. And I know that you don't want to listen to us. You don't want to listen, but I'm going to give you the shorter version of why we want this. The reason is we had one option, to go and protest this bloody regime, and we did, and they killed 40,000 of us in 2 days. This is the last option we have. We asked for the help, and the help is here. And I know I might die, and I don't care, because I'm willing to sacrifice my life for Iran. And you just shut the up and don't use me to attack anyone or try to stop this. We want this. You don't understand. You're not in our shoes. So shut the up. That was a message from one of our Iranian sisters, and she asked me to share this with you. So shut the up.
Whoa. Whoa, everybody. I don't know about you, but this is completely and absolutely shocking to me. So they tried to protest this regime, and they killed 40,000 of their own people. Dude, that's dark. That's dark. And that is a dictator. That, I believe, is what you could all call a king. All of you down there yesterday, March 28th of 2026, protesting no king. I think you're all a bunch of fucking idiots. I really do. I don't understand why you think we have a king. If we had anything, it would be a dictator, you morons. I'm sorry. It's a dictator, not a king. We don't have a king. A king does not exist. Even the kings or queens that exist today have no power. They're just faces. They're just bodies. They go through the motions, but they don't mean anything anymore. So to see thousands of people in Boston is not like this great thing. I think it's just an absolute way to see a bunch of morons who don't actually know what a fucking king is. So you should be down there protesting dictatorship, not kings. You know what I mean? I just think of it completely different. We don't have a king. There's no such thing as a king, but there is a such thing as a dictatorship. And I do believe that is something we should be thinking about. And I'm going to play this for you right now. This may only be a movie, but tell me I'm wrong, okay? And this is why I think everybody who says he's a king is not so smart. And they're not paying attention, because we're not talking about kings. We're talking about dictators. I'm telling you, that's what we're talking about. Listen to this.
This man is an imposter.
No, this traitor tried to kill me and my bed removed. Look! Arrest the Viper Amir!
And now in another amazing turn of events, Amir Mafrad is being taken away.
This constitution is nothing but a license for oil companies and foreign interests to destroy my beloved Wadiya. Wadiya will remain a dictatorship. Woo! Oh, be quiet. Why are you guys so anti-dictators? Imagine if America was a dictatorship. You could let 1% of the people have all the nation's wealth. You could help your rich friends get richer by cutting their taxes and bailing them out when they gamble and lose. You could ignore the needs of the poor for healthcare and education. Your media would appear free, but would secretly be controlled by one person and his family. You could wiretap phones. You could torture foreign prisoners. You could have rigged elections. You could lie about why you go to war.
And I know it's just a movie, but does that not sound like today? Does that not sound like what we're dealing with right now? That's a dictator, everybody. So, no kings is the wrong way to think about everything. No dictators is what you should be thinking about, because the king thing is just so stupid. It's like yelling Nazi. It's just so stupid. It's so easy. You know, it's lazy is what I think. It's lazy thinking is what it is. And it's really easy to get into that box and do all these things and be that person. And, I got a whole bunch of people. Yay, I'm in a group. You're in the wrong group. You're thinking the wrong way. We definitely do have a problem today. I'm not saying we don't. I'm definitely pointing out the fact that there are some things happening, but it's a dictator, everybody. And I don't know what's going to happen, but if anything happens, I have a feeling that this is the way the country will go if things don't turn around in this war. I have a really bad feeling about this one. So hopefully we don't wind up with a dictator, because I don't think it's going to be Trump either. I think it'll be a different country. I don't know. Everybody has got me to the point where I'm actually thinking that maybe America is almost done. The empire is falling and dictatorship is next. And that means no more elections, no more nothing. Who knows what's going to happen after that? I'm telling you, you think it's bad now here in America? Man, if this actually becomes truth, we are in real big trouble. You can forget about podcasting and all the things that we do. We won't be allowed to do a damn thing. I'm telling you, we are going to have no rights, no constitution, no amendments, no nothing. And we're going to have a lot of dead Americans because there's a lot of people that are going to pull out their guns and start shooting at anything that comes towards their house. And that's not going to end well either, because even though our government might be weak around the world, I don't think our government is weak inside of our own walls. You know what I mean? So this here has really got me fucking boiled up. All right. I don't agree with any of this. I actually think that, I'll read the title, Transgender Day of Visibility. Okay, so now we're giving transgenders a day of visibility, which is going to be Tuesday, March 31st, which has not come yet. It's about 2 days away. And I just think real quick that all of these days are stupid. I don't know what happened. I don't know when it happened, but it's just like everything else. It just becomes this thing where people can give a day a name, like donut. This is Donut Day, or National Donut Day, or National Hot Dog Day, or National this, National. They're all fake. They're all there so that you look at the calendar and you go, oh my God, it's National Donut Day. I'm going to go get a free donut, or I'm just going to go buy a donut because it's National Donut Day. Have you noticed that all the days are all things that you need to either go buy or consume, or it's all garbage food that you should be eating? And now they're going to feed us more garbage by doing what? You can choose to participate by wearing one or all of the colors in the transgender flag above: light blue, pink, and white. What is it? A day to celebrate and show support for transgender people and the courage it takes to live openly and authentically while raising awareness and bringing visibility to the discrimination transgender people face. Public schools, mind you, in liberal mass, are pushing a trans day of visibility onto your impressionable children. So I just want you to keep this in mind, that, hey, look, I'm not 100% against people transitioning over the age of 18. I think you should push it to 21 as far as I'm concerned. If alcohol, marijuana, and anything that could be mind-altering has to be the age of 21, then I think altering your body in that way, which could possibly break your mind later in life, that should be something that you should not be able to do under a certain age. Whether you want to make it 18 or you want to make it 21, that I don't give a shit. But either way, there should be an age on this thing. You should not be bringing this up in school. It should not be a national holiday. I just don't think any of this is actually good for society. I don't. If you are doing this to the children, then you are in the wrong as far as I'm concerned. This is just as bad, if not worse, than doing all the things we found out that they do to children in the Epstein files. Is the only way I can say that without getting completely shut down. So disgusting and wrong when you are doing it to children. It's not about the simple fact of people doing it or transgendering or whatever you're doing, I still think that's crazy. But if you're of age, then I don't think I should have that much of a problem with it. If you can do drugs and drink alcohol and do whatever, then you should be able to do that to your body as well. But when it's in the school system, man, we should all have a problem with it. Now, this I've never heard of ever. I don't know where this category fell into. I don't know where it came from. But if this is real, then this is, I mean, when do we get to the point where we can actually just be like, do we not have mental health issues today, right? We have them, right? They're everywhere. I believe that's why we got rid of mental institutions, was because if we emptied out the mental institutions, which were basically just prisons, now they're out on the street. When they commit a crime, now they can go into the actual prison system, which are, you know, independently owned, and they get benefits and kickbacks and everything else. So I believe that when they destroyed the psychiatric hospitals, the reason for that was so that the private jails could benefit from all the sick people. And then we don't have to treat them as sick people. We just treat them as criminals. It's much easier, right? Because if you have to treat a sick person, you're actually supposed to be trying to make them better. And we found out that all the hospitals were terrible and they weren't doing that. But what is this, everybody? What is this? So I don't know what's going on anymore, everybody. I'm sorry. All I see is mental health issues. I just see issues everywhere. And so it's called a quadrobists, and it's used as a Western tool for dehumanizing a social technology. Claims Quadrobics is psychiatric warfare on the community to reprogram kids. I don't know what is going on anymore. Is this where, like, you know, the people that wanted to be cats and have litter boxes in the bathroom at elementary schools, I'm assuming that this is where that's coming from, and where I don't know that much about it. I'm just going to say this is straight up mental illness, everybody. This is wild and crazy. I don't understand you. I don't get it. This woman is on the red carpet or something, meowing. This is almost as bad as the two guys that were in the vehicle that got pulled over, and the one guy's like, I identify as a cat and this is my license, blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, okay, so I'm just going to bring you to the pound and you need to get all of your shots so that your cat is vaccinated and up to date. And if you identify as another animal, then I guess neither of you are allowed to drive, because cats and dogs are not allowed to drive vehicles. So I guess you're both going to the pound. You'll have to figure out how to get out of there. You'll have to get all of your shots, and you'll have to find somebody to go and get your vehicle out of impound. That's how I'm going to deal with this, unless you just want to show me your license. I don't know what's going on today, but this is really, really troubling. Really troubling. You want to see something else that's troubling? Because this is, I mean, I hate Israel. I hate Israel so much. It has, I hate it. I hate being involved with it. I hate hearing about it. And I hate the fact that, you know, we're doing what we're doing alongside of them right now. But if you thought the Epstein Island was bad, you have not seen anything yet.
After interrogation, children are brought here for trial. Ophir military prison near Jerusalem. The army would not let Four Corners film inside.
I've been behind these walls 3 times. I saw children shuffling across the courtyard, handcuffed and shackled. Some hearings lasted 60 seconds. I saw one boy shout the name of his prison so his mother would know where he was being held. I saw the judge convict some children without even once looking at them. Through it all, what I saw was a conveyor belt of convicted children.
I think perhaps to give you some indication of how efficient from a military perspective this system is. According to the military court's own records, their annual report, the courts have a conviction rate of around 99.74%.
99.74%.
Typically, a Palestinian boy convicted of throwing stones
Terrible.
will be sentenced to about 3 months imprisonment.
Palestinian, by the way.
The United Nations Children's Agency, UNICEF, last year released a scathing report on Israel's system. It found that Palestinian children had been threatened with death, physical violence, solitary confinement, and sexual assault against themselves or a family member.
The report found that ill treatment was widespread, systematic, and institutionalized throughout the system from the moment that the child was arrested right up until the sentencing process.
Last month, under pressure from human rights groups, Israel stopped the long-standing practice of keeping children overnight in outdoor cages.
Oh my God.
Children had been kept freezing in the cages during snowstorms.
That is just absolutely disgusting. Look at people. These are the people that we are side by side with. And I'm not saying our prison system or our juvenile system is any better. I mean, it's got to be a little bit better, but I'm sure all of those things happen within the walls here in America too, because I know they happen at men and women prisons. I know they happen in county farms. I mean, when I was locked up, I watched 4 guys beat up one guy. 4 of them left the room, and he got hauled off by medic. And the frigging corporal officer that was watching the floor let it all happen. So it happens all the time, man. They don't give a shit. They're all stuck in prison. You have to understand that. Even the people working there get twisted over a while. I have a friend that does this stuff, and I will tell you, man, it's weird. It's weird. You know, the rules, the rules that you have to follow as the officer, and then you also got the rules that you follow with the inmates. They're living a double life every day that they walk into that building. They have to. You have to play both sides to stay fucking safe. It's crazy, dude. So, no, I don't think that America is any better with the way that we treat our prisoners or our juvenile delinquents, I'll call them. But I do believe that we are better than Israel. I do believe that the things that happen over here are a little bit better than anywhere on this planet. But again, standing next to Israel, having our country so close to a dictatorship than it's ever been, I have a feeling that this could be our new reality. At least I'm afraid of it. And that's why I keep talking about it. That's why I keep saying things, because it does have me in fear that eventually one day we are going to be, I don't even know if they'll call it America anymore. You know, we might even lose the name completely. Who knows? Who fucking knows at this point? If anybody else sees the future, please let me know, because I have no idea what to expect. This is just how crazy the DSA members are. They want to destroy America within, which is another reason why I get so confused on the stuff that's happening today, because it seems like you all want this. So we need to make up our mind, everybody. You can't be all in just because of your side, because either side has some pretty crazy shit going on, you know? But, I mean, I guess I could take the route of some people and just be like, well, I am an independent voter, and maybe I just won't vote for either. But I think that's a terrible decision to make as well, because if I don't vote, what if that one vote was the one that changed everything? You know, I don't know, man. It's a tough situation for us all to be in, but this right here is wild.
Get this rooms, motherfuckers! We ain't going anywhere!
Now it's time to escalate.
We must always continue to agitate.
But we have and we will continue to globalize the Intifada.
We need to neutralize the institutions of power in the West.
That part of me would be Hamas. I'm a part of the BDS movement, Hamas.
Now we're in Congress, and we're every corner of the United States.
Carrying out campaigns into tangible strategic targets that have to respond to us.
Reaching into all of the key areas of social power to transform it and overthrow it.
Bringing the fight back home.
We have to destroy the idea of America.
What?
When they tell you who they are, believe them. Like, these people want the destruction of America, and they want it from within. That's their entire goal. And liberals are just letting it happen because liberals are idiots.
This is so scary, everybody. So, I mean, if they're saying that they are Hamas and they're infiltrating all of our shit, isn't Hamas another group of people we're fighting right now? So we are going to have a civil war, everybody. This is going to be insane. I don't know when the breaking point's going to happen, but I will tell you something is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a civil war. I don't know if America is going to completely fall under a dictatorship. I don't know if another country is eventually going to just take us over. I even heard some talk of Germany becoming NATO. I don't know, man. It's just all so crazy. It's all up in the air, and there is 1,000,001 things that have been mentioned that could happen to us by 2030, and it all seems relatively realistic with the shit that we're seeing today, you know? But on that note, I will be right back. All right, and I'm back, everybody. I'm back. All right, so where were we? Oh, yes, the world is changing. We have no idea what's going to be left of America. And my God, everybody, there is a lot of stuff going on. I've been talking about this religious war we are in the middle of, right? Well, I believe today that it is more true than ever because, let's be real. We're talking about rebuilding a third temple. People are talking about destroying the second temple. And all of this has to do with religion, right? So obviously we are in a religious war. So that being said, this is not surprising to me. But I will have to say that I don't know, man. I don't know if we are in a religious war, and according to religion, the Jews are not the chosen people anymore. The Christians are. And it's interesting because I personally don't think anybody's better than anybody. But that's because I'm not better than anybody. You know what I mean? So you would only hope that people would also feel that way, but they absolutely do not. So let's see what's going on here.
Okay, so they're talking about killing Christians and Jews in Dearborn, Michigan. Take a listen to this. This is Dearborn, Michigan last weekend.
The decree of yours, you will annihilate them. Ya Rahman Rahimin, you annihilated. And you destroyed the likes of Ad and Thamud and Fir'aun. These are the Fir'auns and the Ad and Thamud of today. Ya Rahman Rahimin, we ask you, Ya Allah, destroy them. Destroy them, Allah. Take them off the service of this earth. Ya Rahman Rahimin, Ya Akram al-Akramin.
على القوم الكافرين اللهم انصر الإسلام وأعز المسلمين.
What? Dude, these are the people that are getting into our government, that are sitting in our chairs, that are going to be making our laws or your laws. And this is what they're hoping and praying for. This is the reason why we now have bells ringing at 11 and 3 in the morning in New York City. So these people can go sit in their temple or basement or wherever the fuck they are in a tunnel and pray that our services are taken off of the planet Earth, that we are no longer here. What a dark, sinister way to live your life. You know, I have to say that Christianity is pretty fucking gross. I don't like it. But this is scary, man. This is the type of religion I don't stand behind because it's so dark. I would rather be a Christian and live an eternal world of guilt than to wish harm on any fellow man or woman. You know, we're doing it to ourselves, people. We don't need Trump to do it. We're doing it right now, as is. We're voting these people in. We're accepting. We're doing the whole, thing where, oh, inclusivity. Yay. We're progressing. No. Your progress is going to set America into a decline, is what I believe. That's what I believe. So, the man in white who is appearing to Muslims in their dreams, no one, and I mean no one, is beyond the reach of the living God. So let's check this out, man. A lot of God stuff lately. I believe we are in a religious war, and I do believe my religion is actually growing with every podcast. So I think I thought I knew something, and then all of this happened, and like I said, it completely reset me. So let's just have a listen.
Muslims converting to Christ. So like literally there's these stories all over the world who like a faithful Muslim goes to sleep and they have a dream, these stories of the man in white. The man in white appeared to me. I get emotional talking about it. It's like literally book of Revelation. What's the deal with the man in white stuff, Muslims coming to Christ?
It's not that God's thinking if my church won't do it, I'll do it. God's like, we're doing this together. You have the privilege of partnering with me. Jesus is appearing to people all over the Middle East. And he's tenderizing the heart of people. And Jesus doesn't need people, but he's letting he's gifting the people the opportunity. I have a friend, he sells metal. He's very wealthy. So he flies first class to Dubai, first class all over the Middle East. And so he just decided to get really intentional and just start sharing the gospel. Well, he's been working with this one guy in Dubai. He's been praying like, God, give me an inroad to this guy. So he goes over there, he gets to the hotel, and the guy calls him and says, hey, I can't come to you, but why don't you come to our home? So all these years they've known each other, he's never been invited in. So he's like, oh. He beats the guy to his own house. Maid comes up, they bring him in the living room. He's sitting in this beautiful home of this devout Muslim family. The husband hasn't come home yet. The wife comes down to greet him, and as soon as she sees him, she just kind of like freaks for a second, turns around and runs out. So he's like, did I offend her? I don't know the rule. Like, was I not supposed to make eye? I know I'm not supposed to shake hands. The husband comes home and he's like, where's my wife? Welcome. And he's like, I think I might have accidentally offended her because she came, but she turned around. And husband goes upstairs. They're gone for about 10 minutes. He comes down and he says, hey, I want my wife to tell you what she just told me. And the wife said, I've been having dreams with a man in a white robe who's been coming to me. And he told me that someone from America with a beard is going to come to your house and he's going to talk to you about me. And when he does, I need you to listen. And the guy's like, apparently we need to listen. I don't care what kind of sermon illustration you got. I don't care what kind of LED wall you got going. God don't need what he can do to soften the hearts of his people. And God doesn't even need my friend. He just let him have the gift.
That's right.
And so God is doing that everywhere. But people are like getting together and they're going, I had a dream, and I had a dream, and I had a dream, and I had a dream. So again, either all of this is real or it's like 3 songs and a TED Talk. You know, that's what church is. Or God is actually real. He's actually on the move. He's actually changing the lives of people all over the world. And I think where there is desperation for him, where there is a lack of all the things we've been afforded here, the signs and wonders are on full tilt. They're on all caps. And I think God is doing those things right now in the Middle East to continue to draw the attention for something bigger.
That's right.
And that right there, man, is wild. This is, I'm telling you, dude, this is so much stronger, so much more than I think any of us could ever imagine, because he just said it all. Like, you don't need the church. You don't need this. God is more powerful than all of it. And I believe if Jesus Christ was to be here today and he was to go to the Vatican, I believe he would treat it like the third temple. He would walk into churches and he would close their doors because they are nothing but swindlers and liars. He would shut the Vatican down because they're nothing but evil, demonic, child-touching people. I believe that God would never stand for anything that they stand for, speaking in his name. I do believe that Jesus Christ would see them as bad, evil people. Wild, dude, wild. People having dreams of him coming in and people talking for him, and Muslims changing over in Dubai. Isn't that wild? I mean, they're always putting it in our face, right? They're always telling us the truth right to our faces. So why do we choose not to listen, right? Why do we choose not to listen? Well, I'm hoping your ears are wide open right now.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the fuck up. Please welcome Sandra Bullock. A superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and fuck off, okay? So, it's already 3 hours long. Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up! I know he's your friend, but I don't care. You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Right, but tonight isn't just about the people in front of camera. In this room are some of the most important TV and film executives in the world. People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look,
Ooh.
Talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care.
Oh, man, his face. He is not having this.
Movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, nearly 3 hours long. Leonardo DiCaprio attended the premiere, and by the end, his date was too old for him. So... Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood foreign press are all very, very racist. So, 5th time. So...
I mean, he is amazing. I love his comedy anyways, but I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. This stuff is everywhere. It's in front of our faces. I mean, I'm sorry. I am a person that never gave a shit about any actor or actress. I don't even care to learn their names. I call them by their character names because that's who they are to me. A bunch of characters. They should have no say in anything. They should shut the fuck up and stick to their hilltop house doing their day in and day out shit and keeping out of politics and anything that actually has any meaning. I do believe that he is absolutely 100% correct when most of these people did not go to school or finish. Most of them get pulled out of school a lot earlier than any of us, and then they have some tutor that they do schoolwork with during the shooting, and then they pass that into the school, and the school goes, yep, they're good. No, like, they didn't go to school. They had somebody else do all of their homework. They got a passing grade, and they probably got a diploma. You know what I mean? Like, that's reality, people. These people that they acquire, that they make famous, are all in a pool that they get to pull from, or they've made, or they've developed, or they grew. These are clones. These are generational families. Like, that's who these famous people are. That's why they're all there. None of us will ever get there. You might get Instagram famous. You might get Facebook famous. You might get any type of social media fame. But this fame here, these Hollywood elites, this is generational bloodlines that can never be severed. And which really bothers me because I thought incest was illegal. And in order to have a strong bloodline, you have to have a lot of incest. Kind of gross, right? It's like our dogs. I mean, think about it. You get a full bred dog, right? You pay thousands of dollars for this dog that, you know, the strongest of its bloodline. That is a full incest dog. That's what gives you the bloodline. So, and you always find out that, like, that's not good. It doesn't make for a strong person. It doesn't make for a very strong dog. They have some really bad problems down the line, but that's what a bloodline is. So, kind of creepy, man. It's kind of creepy. The whole thing as a collective is very, very creepy. Now, I don't get into the ballot thing too often, but this one came across, and I'm just at the point now where I need to play all the videos that I come across, because the more that get ripped down, the more I go, oh, we got to play this before it gets taken down, because I don't think it's fair that it ever gets silenced, you know? So let's check this out right here.
County, California had 45,000 more ballots than people who voted. Sheriff just got a warrant to count it himself. This just happened. So how in the world would you have 45,000 more voters than you do that voted than you do people that actually live in that area? The fraud in our country when it comes to elections is so pronounced and so easy to see that it's hard. They don't have an argument. And like most arguments, they start with dog whistles, like it's racist or it's homophobic or this is the most problematic. This is the most problem. It's going to stop it's going to absolutely destroy anybody's ability to vote. And here you go, Chuck Schumer, that's arguing against the SAVE Act. 82%. I want to put it out there. 82% of the public, Democrat, Republican, Independent, collectively, that's more than 4/5 of the country. I mean, they talk about democracy, support it, but Chuck Schumer now is your daddy.
Which is crazy to me, because I also do agree with it. I think that we should. I think it's crazy right now that okay, so me and my wife were talking about it recently, and I don't understand. I show my ID every time I go vote. They scan it. They give me my thing. I, have to switch from independent to a side for the main election, and then for the midterms, I get to vote independently. But I always have to show my ID. So where do you not have to show your ID, or is that just a New Hampshire thing right now? But I'm personally on the side of showing your identification. I don't understand what the problem is. We need to know if you are a U.S. citizen that is legal to vote in that county, area, town, whatever you want to call it. But you need to be able to prove that you can vote. I don't think that's a terrible thing. The fact that you need to take facial recognition to see porn in Texas, but you wouldn't have to show your ID to go vote is insanity. Or, you have to get an ID to, what the hell was it? I saw something. It was like you have to show identification if you want to recycle. I think it was in either Massachusetts or or Connecticut, but now they voted down the identification for voting, but now they want to implement an ID for recycling. Or you have to show your ID to get water out of a gas station in some areas now, right? So why is it okay for you to show an ID to get some water? Why is it okay for you to show an ID when you need to recycle? Or why is it okay to give your face when you want to watch porn? But we're going to sit here and argue about whether or not you should show an ID to vote? The voting sounds like it's the most important of all of them. And we need proof of it. So if 82% of the country, or the collective Republican and Democratic Party, agree that we should have some type of system in place to at least, we're not going to stop it, right? You can't stop voting fraud, but you can at least try to, put some fences around it, I'll say. And if there's a way to put a fence around it and keep it within the fence line by having everybody show their ID before they vote, proving who they are and they're capable of voting in that area, then I think that's okay. And as for the mail-in ballots, I thought that was just a COVID thing, right? Because I didn't want to go stand in line. I didn't want to go stand in line. I didn't want to, because I thought at the time, that everything was exactly what they were telling us. Obviously, that all got debunked, and we found out we were all lied to. And if anybody doesn't feel the way I do today because of what they did 6 years ago, well, I hope you're catching up now. But this is insanity to me, that porn, recycling, identification, but voting, you say no. No. That's crazy. If anything, should be the absolute opposite. Okay, so this one here I thought was really interesting. I take a lot of vitamin D or D3. I'm about 9,000 to 10,000 a day. I bump it up every now and then to get a little bit closer to the 20. But I want you all to listen to this, and I also want you to remember that vitamin D is a hormone. It's a hormone that you should be regulating pretty frequently, and I believe that vitamin D, along with B12, helps with depression. We're still going to have depression, everybody. You're still going to have anxiety. You're still going to have certain feelings. The problem is that the medical industry tries to put a pill into your body that's supposed to regulate these feelings. And I don't believe that there's any way not to have these feelings because they're feelings, right? So there's no pill, there's no nothing that's going to absolutely 100% get rid of these things. But if you could supplement with a proper dosage of the hormone D, and it could help, I don't know, maybe 95% of the people with MS?
Up to 60 times the recommended dose of vitamin D for your MS, your blood levels of vitamin D are almost 4 times more than they should be for a healthy person, but you've got your MS totally under control and no other negative side effects.
Vitamin D is a natural immune regulator of our body, that if you take these high doses, eventually it will help the system auto-regulate and tell my white cells that my neurons are not the enemy anymore.
Right.
And stop attacking our myelin.
Wow, dude. I mean, 60 times the recommended dosage. That's crazy. Now, I don't know. Hold on a second. Let's see here. Let's do this live. What is the recommended dosage for vitamin D for an adult?
600 and 800 international units, which is 15 to 20 micrograms to support bone health.
So you're looking at 600 to 800. That is so little. It's not even going to touch you. It's not going to do anything. 60 times the amount of vitamin D that you are recommended. So if, let's just say, you're 600 to 800, let's just call it 800. So if I take 800 IUs of vitamin D a day, what would be the equivalent if I was taking 60 times that amount?
Times your current dose would be 48,000 international units of vitamin D.
Okay, so 48,000 IUs is what this man is taking a day, and it's calming down his MS, telling his white blood cells that his nerve endings or neurons are not to be attacked. 48,000 IUs. I'm taking anywhere from 10 to 12,000 IUs a day. And that is just to make sure I have enough vitamin D in my body, because we are always depleted, at least in this region. If you live over here on the East Coast, you are always depleted of the hormone D. You're always depleted of it. So I always recommend taking more than 600 to 800. I know it costs a little bit of money, but it's worth it at the end of the day, man. It really is worth it to get your hormones in check. It's so important. Now, this was fucking cool, everybody, because this right here was actually deleted from the Boston Museum of Science webcam. Now, somebody recorded it, but this is wild. Check this out, everybody.
What the heck is this? I had a family member who worked at the Prudential Center in Boston. This is the Museum of Science's live stream on the Boston Harbor. And I have no idea. You'll see it in a second. Gonna go off the building and bam. What is that? Just kind of flying around there. I zoomed in on it and put it in slow motion on the next part of the video. But the crazy part is, the next day when he went back to try to replay it to show one of his coworkers, the Museum of Science had actually deleted that hour off of their live stream. So I don't think it was something that we were supposed to see. Is this extraterrestrial? Is this a government experience? This is, again, the Museum of Science in Boston's live cam. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I think looks like some dark spirits, everybody. Don't those look like dark spirits flying around? Demons? Like, I don't know. It's crazy, right? What was that? Why was it deleted? So they went back to that footage and could not find that hour. So what are they hiding? What are they always hiding? I'll tell you what they're hiding. Listen to this.
I don't think they're aliens. I think they're demons anyway, but that's a longer discussion.
The Vice President of the United States just admitted that there is something real out there, but he doesn't think it's aliens. He thinks it's demons. So I want to look at the Bible. I'm going to give you 3 biblical reasons that aliens could actually be demons in disguise. You've probably heard the line, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it's that he's not just hiding? What if he's been running a rebrand campaign masquerading as something else the whole time? I don't know. It's interesting, but here's point number 1 from the scriptures. Let's start with the realm. The Bible says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. Now, don't miss this. That means that there are real intelligent beings operating in a realm that you can't see, but not just like something out there, something that's overlapping with our reality. So what if what people are calling extraterrestrial is actually interdimensional? Number 2, the method. The Bible says even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. The demonic doesn't show up looking evil with these devil horns. It disguises, it presents itself as something that looks totally different than what it really is. So if the goal has been deception since the garden, what better move than convincing the world you don't exist while also showing up as something else entirely? And number 3, the manifestation. It says they are demonic spirits performing signs in Revelation chapter 16. Not ideas, signs, encounters, manifestations, things that people actually experience. In the ancient world, they called them gods. Later, they called them spirits. And now, what if we're just titling demons as aliens? Same patterns, just a different language to it. So maybe the better question isn't, are aliens real? What if the better question is, are we misinterpreting what we're seeing? And I'll just say this, it doesn't even seem like the demonic is hiding anymore. And I'm not going to spend all my day like thinking about the demonic realm. I don't think that's what Christians should be doing, but I do think we need to understand how it operates, because there is real darkness at work in the earth right now. And the call to the Christian is very simple. Resist the devil and he will flee, and shine your light in a world that is desperate for Jesus.
And I mean, are we not desperate for Jesus today? Jesus. I know I am, because I feel like this religious war thing that we're in, and man, I would hope that we could, if he's supposed to be our savior, man, I know he doesn't have to save us anymore. He already did, I guess, in a way. But, man, I wish he would come back and do it again. Because what if the aliens are demons? What if Vance is right? What if they have been disguising themselves as aliens? And this entire time, this build-up to understanding the aliens and finding out that we are not the only living creatures in this universe is all false. What if we are? What if this is it? What if the demons are doing what they've always done and they're just conquering? Well, then I guess, how do we fight them? How do we fight demons? If I can't see God or Jesus and I'm supposed to believe in them and pray to them and do all these things, how do we fight a demon? Aren't they on the same level? So it's very interesting to me. Those things flying off of the buildings in Boston looked like evil spirits, maybe demons to me. Didn't look like anything I've ever seen. Didn't look like a flying saucer or an alien or anything. And the more that you dig into the alien, you start to get these stories where the alien is more of a cover-up for the demon realm. And then you bring in AI, and now you have a place for these billions and billions of demons to hide in. So what if AI is the place that is being built to store all of the billions and billions of demons that are here on planet Earth with us right now? And then what? They unleash the demons on all of us. Whew. I know. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But at the same time, it's not that crazy to say today. Isn't that fun? This is also fun. Here, let's listen to our good old friend of the show, AOC. She's always got great stuff to say. I love listening to what she has to say. So,
is that a very, very long time ago, generations and generations ago, my family consisted of Sephardic Jews.
I'm going to shut the music off. I don't want to get in trouble. But why is AOC tokenizing a fringe group. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, progressive group on the final night of Hanukkah on Sunday, is not claiming to be Jewish, only to have descended from Jews. Traditionally, Jewishness is determined by maternal lineage.
Oh, well, well, well. Well, well, well. Well, well, well.
Let's see. But I mean, AOC admitting that she has lineage of Jewish descendants. I mean, what are we doing? Is everybody under this spell? I cannot stand it, dude. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to get angry about it because it's useless to get angry about anything today. Because if you are awake and listening and watching and interacting, you should be upset on a regular basis because they are just destroying everything I've ever known as an American or a Christian. But this shit is ridiculous that they will find any way that they can to put themselves on a side. And for some god-awful reason, people are actually convinced that we should be doing what we're doing with Israel, and I do not. I think this is wrong. I think it's disgusting, and I think we need to stop before our empire completely crumbles. Now, Senator Chris Murphy just explained exactly who really matters to Democrats. Okay? So let's give this a listen because I'm telling you, man, they are not the better party. They're not the better party. I mean, they're both pretty terrible. Let's be honest.
Can't believe he said that out loud. Senator Chris Murphy just explained exactly who Democrats put first.
The negotiation didn't have a path to citizenship. It was entirely on their terms in order to get Ukraine funding, right?
Well, I mean, Chris, that's been a failed play for 20 years. So you are right that that has been the Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe. And it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
Boom. Wow. Wow, dude. Okay. So, again, yup. I mean, that's why they let in over 44 million undocumented people. Most important people to the Democratic Party. Well, we already knew that, didn't we? We already knew that, but it was really nice of you to just say it out loud for us. It felt so much better. So, do you want to know why I think they banned lead paint? Check this out. This is very interesting. I thought it was a really good path to go down. And I think this could be closer to the truth than anything.
They really banned lead paint because it was toxic or because it blocked their signals? Think about it. For decades, every home was coated in lead paint. Thick, durable, insulating. Then suddenly, governments worldwide decided it was dangerous. But here's what they don't tell you. Lead is a natural shield against radiation and electromagnetic frequencies. In other words, radio waves can't penetrate it. Before the ban, your walls literally acted like armor. No TV signals, no radio frequencies, no wireless anything could pass through.
Wow.
And then, right as wireless communication exploded, radio, television, early radar, the health panic began. Convenient timing, right? They told us it was about safety, but the studies linking lead paint to poisoning? Most came from industrial smelting, not house paint. The numbers never added up. But what did add up was control. Because once the lead came off the walls, the signals went in. Every home became a receiver. Every person became a node in a connected network. Was lead paint banned to protect you or to make sure they could finally reach inside your home?
It's kind of like the lead paint thing. Everybody goes, oh, lead paint's harmful. Well, that's a yes and a no. Yes, lead is harmful to the human body, but that's not why they took it away from us. They claimed that babies chewing on baby crib corns, they get lead ingested lead. That was the hoax that they used to get this agenda over because they involved children in it. The truth of the matter is, when you have lead paint on walls, certain frequencies can't penetrate those walls to see inside because lead is a barrier.
Holy shit, everybody. What the fuck? Again, another thing. This is so many things, dude, that like come together and make so much more sense this way. Obviously, because like, I mean, you see lead paint, right? And it's not doing anything. You know? And for it to be toxic during smelting makes sense because that creates a vapor, a cloud, something that you can breathe in. But actual lead paint on the wall, I mean, you can see it chipping and falling and stuff like that. It would do all kinds of stuff like that. And that's when they would go, oh my God, that's so dangerous. But was it? Was it an actual shield? Did they already know that it was a shield? And again, they bring up that argument, right? They bring up the same argument that they always bring up. Well, it could be toxic to the children. You could have chipping lead paint on your crib, and your child could grab that chipping and chew on it. And now they have lead poisoning. The only time I ever really heard of lead poisoning was from children when I was a child back in school, when we used pencils on paper. Now, I will let you know, that's 93. That's 89. You know? Not that long ago, everybody. It's not a tremendous amount of time. But our pencils, when I was a child and in elementary school, was lead pencils. And, you know, kids stabbed each other with pencils. And you would get lead poisoning from that pencil. Now, that is true. That is real. That's one of the reasons they went to graphite that I know of. So exposed lead like that could be dangerous. But lead paint, I mean, it was only dangerous if, like, you ate it. You had to eat it. Even my dad said that. He's like, it's not that dangerous, just don't eat it. It's not like asbestos. You know, asbestos is very terrible, and as soon as it, like, cracks, it poofs. It's like, you know, it gives you that dust. That dust right there is super, super deadly. And I don't think asbestos did anything for us. I think it made somebody a very rich person, along with a lot of people being dead from it. But this thing with lead is so eye-opening that there was a possibility of people understanding that these were blocking frequencies, or they were trying to keep something inside, right? I don't know, man. I believe that our spirituality and our connectivity from human to human and the things that we were capable of doing 1,000 years ago have all been lost today because they have found a way to eliminate them and strip us of these things. And then they just wait 30 years for that generation to die. And then they're like, cool, these people don't know anything that those people knew. Now we can go even further with it. And that's what they've been doing for 148 years, is just waiting it out. And we are right here in the fucking front lines of everything today going, what is going to happen? What's next? What reality is real? The 1% cares about the 1%. and they can lie, cheat, and steal, and they will never pay for what they've done. And that is our reality today, you know? Absolutely wild time, everybody. I hope everybody is enjoying the changes to the podcast. Again, I just hope everybody out there enjoys their Thursday. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend. And God willing, I will talk to you next week.